Fratelloni's Hardware and Garden Stores brings you Garage Logic Podcast number 1017, Feb 9, 2023. 52 degrees on this day back in 1966 and 33 below in 1899.
And now, from the mayor's office above the boathouse on the east shore of Spoon Lake, it's Garage Logic with Chris Reavers manning Technology Corner, Kenny Olson from the Krabby Coffee Shop, John Heidt in the newsroom, and of course, the Rookie. Here is your flashlight king, fireworks commissioner, and the keeper of common sense, your mayor, Joe Soucheray.
I can link our girl, Kamala Harris, to the story of the woman the other day in the John Heidt newscast who mistakenly received a $100,000 paycheck from something called American Flyer.
Mm-hmm.
John wasn't curious enough to wonder what that was, but I was.
Well, we looked it up on air. What
Yeah,
are we
I
talking
did.
about?
I looked it up on air.
Okay.
They make electric buses.
They
Yeah,
do.
you said that.
That's where Kamala is speaking today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
What a coincidence.
Yes. And
Crazy.
Is that a Bader Meinhof?
It's some sort
yeah,
of
but that's got to
something.
be in the.
Okay.
You got to do it within
won't
a
worry
time
about
limit.
Got it.
The office of the vice president says Harris is visiting the outfit to highlight how the administration's investments in electric vehicles are creating good-paying union jobs. The vice president, and she will fly into St. Cloud. I've learned that. She will arrive at St. Cloud Regional Airport early today, right now. Her plane with vehicles has already arrived. I'll get to that in a moment. We need a St. Cloud correspondent, as we've beseeched them all week to keep track how many are EVs. And that's really now even more important. How many in her entourage are EV cars as she's driving to an EV factory?
Right.
According to the White House, the vice president will arrive at St. Cloud Regional, and she'll tour the assembly plant for the New Flyer electric buses before making her remarks. She'll depart Minnesota in late afternoon, and I think it's going to be just wonderful. And we're on it to the best we can be.
We've already been given part of her speech for later today.
Imagine a future.
Well, that's the kind of BS we're going to hear.
Right.
I can't wait. Joe, I heard a story via my sister from a friend of hers. So
There we go.
that cast doubt on it.
Okay, all right.
That cast doubt on it. But I recognize the name of the emailer, Chris. I heard a story via my sister from a friend of hers who works at New Flyer Bus in St. Cloud, where the VP will be visiting.
Hey.
The New Flyer employee is invited to Kamala's speech today. Employees had to fill out RSVP cards and disclose their vaccination status. Then the union held a meeting yesterday and said if you wear anything with Trump on it, let's go Brandon, or anything deemed offensive to Kamala, you're out of your job and will be fired. We don't know that to be true, but
Wow.
they went on to tell the employees if they hear any mention of Let's Go Brandon in any form, you're fired. Needless to say, I don't think anyone named Brandon will be allowed at the speech. Good luck, Chris from St. Stephen, Minnesota. Okay.
Well, isn't that more just of a, hey, just show some respect?
Of course
Can they
it is.
fire you for that?
I don't think
You wouldn't think so. Well, maybe.
Really? Well, I
Maybe.
think they could, yeah.
I think I'd take the day off is what I do. The same thing I'm going to do when you have Walls on the air. Kenny's going to be gone that day.
Michael Miller wants us to know that her motorcade landed in St. Cloud earlier today. The motorcade is ready to go.
All right.
Ready to
Pumped and ready.
take our gal over to the Flyer, the New Flyer bus company where they make Imagine buses.
Can I ask a dumb question?
You may.
Does she travel on Air Force One?
No, we went through this in your absence.
Okay.
While you were getting drunk on some
two.
beach. We
Called
talked
two,
about
isn't
this.
it?
Air Force Two.
Yeah.
Gotcha. The dose.
Well, I learned something else. 1 and 2 refer to the people, not the airplanes.
Oh.
So she could
Air Force, whatever she flies on is Air Force
fly
2.
in on anything, and whatever that is, it's Air Force 2.
It's fitting that. Well, no, that's a bad joke. To
So
make.
because it's St. Cloud, maybe it's not a 757. It could be a private plane. Who knows? In any event, the designations are for the people, not the airplane.
We sure do know that it ain't electric,
No, but she's going to the Imagine Bus Company.
which is electric.
Right. And I trust, given these emails, that we will have adequate correspondence from St. Cloud. We'll play you her entire audio tomorrow. You're in charge of getting that.
Yes, sir.
Her
Yes.
entire audio. Well, maybe not her entire audio.
Just the good
Now you've
stuff.
got me thinking, if I was the VP, what plane would I choose? I think it's the A-10 Warthog. And we'd use those tank rounds to hunt deer on our way to whatever event we're going.
I
See,
have to
New
laugh.
New Flyer does make other buses too, just so that people who work there don't write us letters saying,
All right.
We make other stuff too.
Boy,
not
if only
just
we had
electric.
someone that lived near St. Cloud that works on the show.
You know, for 100 years, I've been wondering
he
why.
won't go.
I've been wondering why I always see these empty, brand new buses rolling down 94
They're
between
Imagine.
St. Cloud and the Twin Cities. You just answered my question, Joe Souchere.
Those are Imagine buses.
Right.
Gretchen writes, Joe, I've been a loyal listener for the past few years. I even shovel the snow that the plow hides my mailbox in. I just received the Nielsen survey. Do they still do that for TV?
Wow,
Yes.
really?
Yes.
I don't have a TV due to the fact that you can't just plug it in and watch anymore without spending so much money. I had 5 channels until the snow took out my roof antenna. Anyway, I chose to fill out the survey only. This sounds like a country song, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, I chose to fill out the survey only because the question asking total number of people current living in your household that fell into each category below, male or female, were the only choices. Ray of Hope? I checked female and thanked them for the only options that were listed and added to please keep it as it is. I don't need a participation award. I pay way too many taxes and will keep shoveling snow and B as in B, S as in S until we can rid the state of our current elected. Still can't figure out who voted for them. Or I move. Female GL listener. First name only, please. I have my share of cylinders and use Seafoam on a regular basis. Have a groovy day. Gretchen.
I think I just fell in love. I'm not sure, but I think I'm in love.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Gretchen.
I had 5 channels, but the snow took them away. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the rest of my day. I wanna watch my program, but I can't get it any more. What rhymes with more?
Whore.
Poor.
Oh, yikes.
Door.
Poor, there you go. And without a TV, I feel like I'm television poor.
Yeah.
Well done. Bravo.
Nice, Johnny.
Only took 4 years, but the guitar-playing newsman picked up on the bit he's supposed to have been doing.
Well, I thought I was supposed to read news. Can I quit reading news then? Oh.
You'll recall, I said it recently within the last few months, that the worse the world gets, the lighter the news content.
The worse the world gets, the lighter the news. Okay.
Well, I wrote it down for myself today to remind us that I said that, and it's been very evident lately. The worse the news gets, the more you're going to get a story about, is it safe to sleep with your dog?
Are you
That
talking
kind of
it's
thing.
balance?
Yeah, it's just there's nothing there.
Gotcha.
There's nothing there. Now I do this because it'll upset John.
I never get upset.
Wow.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders, the governor of Arkansas, gave the response to President Biden's State of the Union address, and she's being heralded. She delivered the Republican address. No, the address to the nation.
Spots?
1, 2,
And,
3, Maine.
And she asserted that the president and his party have failed Americans. I agree. And that the divisions in the nation today are between normal or crazy. And she's getting a lot of attention for that. I'm for freedom, he's for government control, she said, after noting that she and the president do not share much in common. I'm the first woman to lead my state, but it doesn't mean anything because she's a white heterosexual. And he's the first man to surrender his presidency to a woke mob that can't even tell you what a woman is. I like the speech. But as John rightfully pointed out before the show, you got a lot of crazies in the Republican Party.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
But isn't that what she said?
I think she's just referring to the country in general.
Yeah, that's what I guess I'm trying to say.
I think she's saying one party's crazy and one's not. That's what I took out of it.
No, I think she's saying the direction of the country is crazy and the country doesn't want to be crazy. It wants to be normal.
Okay.
The dividing line in America is no longer between right or left. The choice is between normal or crazy, she said. The Biden administration is doubling down on crazy. He's unwilling to defend our border, defend our skies, defend our people. He's unfit to serve as commander-in-chief. While you reap the consequences of their failures, the Biden administration seems more interested in woke fantasies than the hard reality Americans face every day. I think she's on the money there. I think she's on the money. They don't want you to see this. Big tech does its best to limit what? That's a printing ended right there.
Oh, so we found out part of that yesterday. That's wrong. Big tech pretty much was limiting whoever they wanted, and they had the Republican Party coming in asking them to stop printing things that they wouldn't do.
Right.
Not the other party.
Right.
I understand we're in trouble both sides. I'm not a fan of either party, but I am a believer. I used to say there was there was no right or left in this country. The division was right and wrong. But I'll go with crazy and normal for a while.
Okay.
I buy that.
I will too. I agree. I just think perhaps my crazy might be different than your crazy at times.
Well, to me, the crazy is Hamlin not allowing a teacher to show a picture
That's
of Muhammad.
crazy. That's
beyond
crazy.
That's the crazy we're talking about.
I agree.
Power
completely.
washing is crazy. Windmilling is crazy. Everything we've come up with, the mystery is crazy.
Well, see, we agree then, I guess.
I think we do.
Bread is crazy.
It is. If you buy it at the right place.
What? Oh, crazy. I
Oh,
get
we
it.
missed
That was
the
an
anniversary.
anniversary.
I know.
Was it the 21st? Or
I
something?
remember the date. January 13th
Oh, 13th. Okay.
was the anniversary of Crazy
Where
Bread.
we derailed the entire show.
This was the most damnedest thing I've ever...
And the phone lines lit up.
Right.
You never know what's going to hit, do you, Joe?
No. No.
Rook's best line. You want to go?
Go where?
Go there.
Eat
Go
pizza.
eat pizza.
No, you mean Lisa. Lisa had called in.
Lisa called it.
Oh, at least yeah, that
wanna
Rook. I'm
go?
sorry.
Go where?
What is this now? Oh, I have some great news. Jordy alerted me to this. It's great news, but, if it's normal versus crazy, I don't know how much advantage we can take of this great news. The Earth, it turns out, the Earth, our
4.5 billion years old.
our mother,
Orb.
is an oil-producing machine, and that we're nowhere even in the same realm of worrying about running out of oil. Engineering and Technology magazine.
Yeah.
I don't get that one.
I'm surprised.
This week, reported this week that BP, the company that once wanted to be known as Beyond Petroleum rather than British Petroleum, is now saying the world is no longer at risk of running out of resources. Thanks to investment in supercomputers, robotics, and the use of chemicals to extract the maximum from available reservoirs, the accessible oil and gas reserves will double by 2050.
Really?
Engineering and Technology said. A BP official told the magazine that energy resources are plentiful. Concerns over running out of oil and gas have disappeared.
Great sign.
Imagine how wonderful this would be if we had an administration that was excited about this.
Yeah, right.
Things are so good, in fact, that Engineering and Technology says with the use of the innovative technologies, available fossil fuel resources could increase from the current 2.9 trillion barrels of oil, equivalent to 4.8 trillion by 2050, which is almost twice as much as the projected global demand. That number could even reach 7.5 trillion barrels if technology and exploration techniques advance even faster. I haven't gotten to the kicker.
Okay. Well, kicker.
The information backs up the idea that the Earth is actually an oil-producing machine. We call energy resources such as crude oil and natural gas fossil fuels, based on the assumption that they are products of decaying organisms, maybe even dinosaurs themselves. Haven't we always thought of oil that way? That
Yes.
Algae, plants,
Yes.
etc. Yeah.
That's not the case. The new research is discovering more and more every day.
We have little elves that are beneath
Maybe
the
every
earth.
day. But the label is a misnomer. Research from the last decade found that hydrocarbons are synthesized abiotically. I looked up abiotically.
You're losing me.
Yeah.
Abiotically is the creation or manufacture of something that doesn't rely on a living thing. In other words, it would be like if two rocks got together and produced honey. Well, I did. Here, I have
seriously.
the research on abiotic. I looked it up. Not involving or derived from living organisms.
Oh,
Physical
okay.
rather than biological.
Okay. Well, that makes a little more sense.
Relating to things in the environment that are not living. So I think my analogy might be somewhat accurate. It would be as though, well, why even say honey? Why not say oil? It apparently what they're discovering is that oil is being produced
So
abiotically.
okay, so deep inside the earth,
Right down
there's
in
a-
the deepest part of the swimsuit
go.
area.
there's a pocket.
Well,
I don't.
A hot pocket.
the Earth is an oil-producing machine. Let's just leave it at that. What we're learning is that it isn't decaying organisms we must rely on for the creation of oil. The hydrocarbons are synthesized abiotically.
Well, it makes sense to me. It's the same way gold is formed then, generally speaking.
Isn't gold already in the earth?
It
metal?
It has to form. There's a process going on.
There's a book by Jerome Corsi called The Truth About Energy, Global Warming, and Climate Change, Exposing Climate Lies in an Age of Disinformation, has an excellent chapter on abiotic oil, drawing much from Thomas Gould's The Deep Hot Biosphere, The Myth of Fossil Fuels. Climate change is the surreptitious device to castrate the otherwise powerful U.S. in the name of equity. I think that might be Jordy's addition to this. And we've said that in a variety of different ways for many years. That's all it is. Why I've known that in my gut for 15 years, I have no idea. But the climate change hysteria has nothing to do with the climate. It has everything to do with making the once powerful U.S. not as powerful. Probably in the name of equity.
The best part of the last 5 minutes of discussion is going to be the follow-up emails we're going to get.
Yeah, I was just thinking of that. I was really wish I didn't bring up that gold BS. GLers, just pretend you didn't hear that, okay?
I'm glad.
Close your email program. Pretend I didn't say that. Thank
I'm
you.
glad I'm off
Kenny's
Friday,
now the
so I don't have to hear the.
You don't have to be here tomorrow, you creep.
GLers, go to investors.com for yourself and find the piece that says we're not running out of oil. The Earth produces its own crude oil.
Okay, but
And abiotically, meaning we don't have to rely on,
we shouldn't have
we're
to
getting
dig.
way above my pay grade here.
I'm saying we shouldn't have to dig to find it. It should be
Oh, we should be like Jed Clampett, shoot at a rabbit.
Right.
Boom, up it comes. Yeah.
Texas tea.
that's what the story goes.
Let's put it this way.
Here we go.
Let's put it
Break
this
it
way.
down.
Break it down like a clown.
Through the use of technology and supercomputing and further research, we're discovering phenomenal things. And among them You know what? You can all go bleep yourself.
Are they magnificent? Are they tremendous?
Yes.
Magnificent?
Tremendous.
Imagine all the oil
Imagine avionic
coming in
oil.
through a spout like Rookie wants.
Pockets.
The only person that would fail more miserably at trying to explain this than me would be Imagine.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
Oil.
Comes from the ground.
It's in the dinosaur skin. And
See, dinosaurs were greasy.
right. Well, whatever. I just find it wonderful news. And
Yes.
in other words, as
Here we
science,
go.
here we go.
Here we go.
Now you got the golden bar here.
We call energy sources such as crude oil and natural gas fossil fuels based on the assumption that they are products of decaying organisms. Maybe even the dinosaurs themselves, but the label is a misnomer. Research from the last decade found that hydrocarbons are synthesized abiotically. In other words, as Science magazine has reported, the data imply that hydrocarbons are produced chemically from carbon found in Earth's mantle. Nature magazine calls the product of this process an unexpected bounty of natural gas and the building blocks of oil products. So don't feel guilty about this makes me want to go out and buy a Hemi.
Yeah.
So don't feel guilty about exploiting this bounty. There seems to be plenty to go around, and there will be a lot left when technology, not hurried by government mandates and subsidies, but guided by market forces, produces practical and affordable renewable energy. But for now, enjoy our cheap, abundant, and efficient fossil fuels. Amen. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Can I get an
Amen.
Amen?
Say amen.
That's just
Say amen.
amazing.
I'm
That's
all-
this right here. This is what this is.
I'm already getting hammered via text for the
Already?
gold thing. Yeah.
Yeah, nice going. Tell us more, Kenny. Tell us more.
No, I.
Okay.
And no 10-year-old kids are made to suffer by finding the oil.
That's right.
No mom clutching to her hip an infant is wandering around in a trash pile in the Congo to get lithium for your bleeping 2-bit batteries. You frauds.
I was doing research on this. I can tie this to your and Kenny's latest fascination, too. Emmanuel Volovsky says oil was extraterrestrial in origin. What do you think of that?
Oh, Kenny, I believe it.
That
They brought
you
it
know
down
what?
here.
It makes sense now. And Joe, that's why they keep coming back.
To get more oil.
And that's what they're doing when we see them dive into the
They're
ocean.
checking their oil reserves.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
That's my story, and I'm sticking
Yep.
to it.
That's
I
it.
like it. I like it.
Well, we solved that one.
Reavers, in your absence, we got a great email from Tuttle. Tuttle was his grade school nickname. He said, just an appreciation of your persistence in finally getting us to talk to the estate planning team at Eckberg Lammers.
Very good.
The CP and I have been longtime listeners, have supported many of the great GL sponsors, butchers, restaurants, golf shows, boxers, you name it. But this has to be one of the most beneficial tips you have provided. We made the call and met with Patrick at Eckberg Lammers, thankfully not your Patrick,
Yes, sir. Yes,
and went
red
over
one.
what we needed to do to help the kids we used to have and the grandkids with our wishes when we're gone. Patrick and his team made it easy and simple to understand, even for a dummy like me.
Yes, it is.
He also provided us assistance in how to handle my aging mother-in-law's assets. Thanks for the proverbial kick in the rear. After sharing our plans with the family, one of the kids made an appointment for herself and husband. It's never too early to plan. Ain't that the truth? Because we're all going to go. There's nothing we can do about it. And Eckberg Lammers is a well-known law firm in the metro and western Wisconsin. They've been putting together estate plans for 70 years, more than 70 years. And you need this. You don't want the government messing in your business.
Hell nah.
They'll take care of child problems if you think you have that, and cabins, family ownership of property. And if you're a snowbird and have tax issues, they take care of that. It's great service. They're great people, and it's a great law firm. But Tuttle, the emailer, was correct. Don't wait. You don't need to wait till you're old to do this. Get it done now and keep your property and your earnings and your whatever you've accumulated. You want to leave behind to the kids you used to have. You've got to take care of this now. And then when you do die, and you're going to die.
Oh, that's
I can't help it.
Upbeat.
We're all going to.
Fact-based.
But you know what? You'll be leaving your family a nice, neat package, hassle-free, and stay away from the courts. Eckberg Lammers. You can call Eckberg Lammers and make an appointment at 651-439-2878 or visit Eckberg Lammers at eckberglammers.com. Small business owners, keep that in mind, too. They handle all transition-type stuff.
Hey GLers, it's Reavers here, and you've heard me talk about my relationship with Josh Arnold for quite some time now. And the reason I advocate that you give Josh a call is simple. Well, actually, it's two reasons. Trust and results. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions. As he says, past results do not guarantee future returns. Well, that is true. Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. And you can trust Josh to make sure that you are not paying more in fees than you are selling in returns. Yes, that is more common than you would think. So do yourself a favor by booking a 48-minute free consultation that has absolutely no obligation. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608. That number once again is 952-925-5608. You will be glad you did.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Chris Reavers is a paid endorser.
Cannot stop him. He'll just make a move. Joe Soucheray.
Happy Valentine's Day, sucker. Where's a
Never-
good place to store my heart?
Your what?
My heart.
How about your gold?
Yeah, how'd it go make?
You gotta put your gold somewhere, Mr. T.
Tell me about it, sucker.
Okay, Mr. T. Shut up.
I'm done.
No more of that Valentine stuff,
you're
Mr. T.
I'm going to Valentine the out of you.
When is Valentine? When is Valentine's
Usually it's
Day?
on the
Tuesday.
14th.
Next
14th?
Tuesday.
When is
We
it?
decided on the Krabby Coffee Shop that Valentine's Day should be a day that anything goes in the boudoir, including
Well,
bringing
you
in
did-
company.
You decided that,
Yeah.
Kenny. We didn't.
You can't say no on Valentine's Day. Anything's
To
possible.
anything.
Yeah, and
What
all
if
that
you just
stuff,
want to read?
all that
What time, do
crazy.
you want me to, what time do you want me to come over?
Come on over. Come on over. We'll open up the Liberty safe and get out our hardware and all the goodies.
Okay, I take it back.
Made in the USA, best fire protection in the business, transferable lifetime warranties, professional delivery and installation. So you're thinking about, I'd really like to put it upstairs, but I've got to go up those steps. Don't worry about it. Maple Grove Lock and Safe, Rich, he'll handle all of that. And he's going to do this with a big Valentine's Day sale on select Colonial and USA safes by Liberty. $300 is what you can save. Give the gift of security, safety, and savings on this Valentine's Day. The gift that keeps giving, no matter what calamity may come your way. A Liberty safe from Maple Grove Lock and Safe, 6901 East Fish Lake Road, and on the web, maplegrovelockandsafe.com.
Say, I was telling you, the worse the world gets, the lighter the news, and I had a secondary idea. Wouldn't it be cool? I'm serious, and we happen to have access to a television studio in this building. Wouldn't it be cool if there was a GL Nightly News?
Oh, my God.
John, you up for that?
It would be totally opposite anything you're seeing on television.
It would be.
And we could partner with somebody, too. Oh,
Kenny could do trap. Pat would be the sportscaster.
brilliant idea.
Wild win.
Pat would be the sportscaster. Kenny would do traffic and weather. Rookie's a field reporter. I don't know what the hell you'd do.
I'd
Reavers.
stay home.
He'd be a fan.
Eat supper.
But
John would
I'd
have to
watch
be,
every day.
you and John would be the lead anchors.
Oh, yeah.
John would
Back
have
to
to
you,
be
Joe.
an anchor, and I'd be an anchor, and we'd lead tonight. We'd lead tonight with this news because you'll never hear it unless there was a GL News channel.
What's the news?
It's official. I'd look at the camera and say it just like that. It's official. The Twin Cities is the most dangerous cities in America for light rail transportation. See, because you're not going to hear that.
And I have the snippet of that first newscast.
All right.
Damn it! Who typed a question mark on the teleprompter? For the last time, anything you put on that prompter, she will read.
And then I'd read the copy, right?
And the cut
I would
line.
say, according to a study by the Center of the American Experiment and written by a guy named Peter Nelson, federal data shows Twin Cities light rail is the most dangerous in America.
Do we celebrate?
People who decide to step on light rail in the Twin Cities are at greater risk of being injured by an assailant than any other light rail system in America. This is data from the Federal Transit Association. Shows serious crime on Twin Cities light rail has been consistently higher than the U.S. average in recent years. However, the Twin Cities light rail crime rate, I'd look at the camera now, get ready for that, surged in 2019, grew even worse in 2020, and remains persistently high today. This dramatically higher rate of crime and injury on Metro Transit light rail reveals years of mismanagement. This mismanagement only adds to Metro Transit's embarrassing delays and cost overruns with the Southwest Light Rail Transit Project. With this record of failure, Minnesota lawmakers need to seriously re-examine the future of the Met Council that runs Metro Transit and the ongoing expansion of light rail. And then we cut to Rookie, and you're interviewing a legislator.
Yes, Mr. Legislator, what think ye of this?
No, we're not going to go.
We're doing it straight.
You're going to say, what are you going to do about this mismanagement of light rail?
Hey, legislature guy, what are you going to do about this light rail? Everybody's getting their ass kicked.
You're some bitch.
Everyone's getting their ass kicked.
Gil with the field report.
That's who you'd hire. You'd hire Gil because they'd watch Gil every night. I'll put a fake mustache on, get some pork chops, stick on pork chops.
Oh,
What do you think of this light rail legislator guy? You got $4 billion. Then he gets all the facts wrong.
Federal law requires
The close enough field report with
Close
Gil.
enough, $4 billion to $10 billion, whatever the hell it is.
Federal law requires the FTA to maintain a national transit database to support planning efforts, make multi-year comparisons, and perform trend analysis. Part of this data collection tracks personal security events, which includes assault, homicide, robbery, larceny, theft, motor vehicle theft, rape, and suicide. Because the FTA maintains a uniform method of collecting and reviewing the data, it represents the best source of comparing light rail systems. So this doesn't come from a podcast. This doesn't come from some evil conservative corner of the news gathering world. This is the Federal Transportation
And
Administration.
Peter knows what he's talking about.
Personal security. It's a wonderful piece. Go to Center of the American Experiment. Read it for yourself. It's just amazing. We all know it. We all knew this anecdotally. But just go to the money part for a minute. Why does Southwest Light Rail get to continue to get away with this horrible mismanagement of Southwest Light Rail?
Well,
where's the legislature to step in and say, done, we're cutting our losses?
Who's running the state? I mean, there's your answer.
People have tried, but the numbers,
Scooney wants to know when you need him. He's in a holding pattern. I just got a text.
I know.
Good, because I need to call him today.
I was worried that you were going to read that.
Well, I mean, what the hell? Do you need to go call him?
No, we're good.
You're not going to do that in the middle of our nightly newscast, Joe, are you?
I might. You know what? It's
How
gonna,
come that light's blinking? What does that light
That's
mean?
exactly what it would be like, because there would be no phoniness.
You know
There'd
what?
be no pretending.
Think about this, fellas. Joe Souchere in front of a green screen, trying to tell the viewers what's on the screen.
What's a green screen?
My point exactly. My point
You travel down,
Like what the weathermen use.
and then
Weather people.
over here is our state, and then we're going to go this way, right? Wait,
We're not going to turn it into the old Dave Moore bedtime news.
Turn on the applause light.
I'm talking about a
light.
newscast done after the fashion of the newscasts that we're exposed to. We'd have news, weather, and sports, only we're going to tell it like it is. None of this we don't give a damn if some puppy got saved. That isn't going to make the cut.
So you got to throw a couple of good...
No, you don't. That's my point. No, you don't.
Who was going to do the feature then on how to keep your pets safe during the holidays?
There won't be one.
Oh.
Maybe I'd show a film clip of how I would hold up a firecracker and watch my dog run and hide.
Okay.
Yeah, because my dog used to do that.
Well,
I would just say, hey, Polly, watch this. I'd get a firecracker out. That dog would take off and then peek up above the hedges to see what I was
And
up
you
to.
could pick out like timely things, like what is your favorite Super Bowl commercial during the Super
be a
Bowl?
good
see,
one.
See,
How
you know
about-
what, Matt? You might not make the cut
No,
for the
I'm making the
staff.
cut. I am
No,
Because
Matthew,
you're too steeped in your ways.
here's the one, Matthew. Every winter we get what to keep in your car during a blizzard. You know,
Yeah,
and stories like
Okay,
that.
okay.
It'll be all food.
Survival kit, Snicker bar, Three Musketeers, Kit Kat.
Listen, we would go to Such for tips on, let's say, how to get the ice off your windshield, how to clear the hump,
Boiling water.
from
Yes.
how to get rid of sawdust.
And when we did it, it would be clearly stated, reenactment, do not try this at home.
And here's Such throwing a 5-gallon pail of sawdust into a fireplace.
You got a bag of sawdust? Watch how I get rid of it.
This was done on a
All
closed
the
course.
wet plaster from 1940 just cracked
But only
and shriveled.
you would be insulting the viewers the same way you insult us. Listen, you bastards.
Yeah.
Here's how you get rid of it.
I do love the
You
tips
got a
from
hump at the end of your driveway?
Listen up,
Follow me.
loser.
Burn the hell out of it.
I'd take a can of gas down there and light it. Nothing would happen, but it'd be fun.
tips from the man on the street. How to fill up a tank halfway because there's a hole in it.
Right.
That's your tip from the
And then
man on
let
the
it
street.
roll around in the back of
You
the
guys,
van.
you guys are letting it get away from you. I'm talking about a newscast
No.
that would not, that would
Well-
be, that would lead with, "We're the most dangerous light rail town." in the country."
Frankly, your idea, although not bad, is kind of square and dry and boring.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
we're
So
just
you-
trying. We need viewers here.
And when the camera switches from you to me, I couldn't go, wow, isn't that something, Joe? I couldn't do that then?
Yeah, you can. Yes.
Can't make meaningless small talk.
Actually, what will happen is Joe will be reading a story, and John in the background would just go, "No, wrong."
We're going to need a helicopter.
Oh yeah,
We're going to need some vehicles,
yeah,
cameras.
yeah.
But, you know, we got an inside track on that.
We do.
Take a break.
Boy, I'm sure this will get done.
I think you're going to
One day closer.
We'll make
One
this
day
happen.
Joe,
The
you know what
Garage
happens?
Logic news at 10 o'clock.
When you travel,
Would we have to be here at 10 o'clock?
Yeah, I was going to say,
Oh, I
you're
don't
in
want to
bed
do
then.
that there. No,
that's
never
what I
mind
was
then.
wondering. Well, what's the time frame going
Never
to be on
mind.
said
Well, no,
broadcast?
previously recorded.
Never
Yeah,
mind.
right. The 10 o'clock news recorded at
Previously
6:30.
Oh, hell,
Or
earlier than
noon,
that.
noon.
When you travel, Joe, you know what you look forward to when you come home?
Yeah.
Clean water.
Yeah, I do. I was thinking about that.
And that's what I got last night when I returned home.
That's all I think about, in fact.
Clean water.
On the return, I always think, I wonder what the water will be like.
You and also want to schedule that trip home as soon as possible. when
I'm
you're on
like
vacation.
Nick Mancini, man. I get in the hotel room after arriving and find out the first flight back.
Hofferman Water is an independent water treatment dealer. They're the best in the business, and they offer sales, service, and rental units for Connecticut water treatment systems. That includes water softeners, iron, rust, and odor filtration systems, and of course, drinking water systems. I just had Hofferman out last week to replace the filters in all of my systems, and they did a bang-up job, and they will take great care of you and your family and the water inside of your home. A new system from Connecticut can do so many things that other water softeners just simply cannot do. It's going to cut down on your salt usage, but it's also going to protect your appliances. You get that Hofferman water courtesy of Connecticut, and your showers are better. So is your laundry, and of course, your drinking water. So call them today, 952-894-4040. That's 952-894-4040, or just visit their website, which is HoffermanWater.com. Hofferman Water has been proudly serving the state of Minnesota for over 50 years. Please tell them you heard about them here on the Garage Logic Podcast.
Button.
Are you ready?
Flashlight. Check. Tool belt. Check. Attitude. Check. He's going in. Joe Souchere.
The most Americana sound you can think of right now, and I really miss this from living in South Minneapolis. What is it, Such?
The puck hitting the boards in somebody's backyard.
Right there, you nailed it. Nothing more Americana about hockey, outdoors. It's Positive Thursday. Mike Schoonover, SchoonoverBodyWorks.com on the line. They're located in Shoreview, 1060 County E. The North American Pond Hockey Championship on Lake Minnetonka starts today out in front of Maynard's. And this year, playforpatrick.org is the beneficiary. Hi, Mike. Good day. How are you?
Hey, I'm really good. Good to be with you, fellas.
I was looking over the schedule. There's a lot of teams playing and a pretty cool band. There's no hockey today. It's registration, etc. But there is an event tonight, and the band is called Viva Knievel. They're a cover band, and I listened to a few of their songs. They're pretty good. So it's
out
actually
Minnetonka way.
Yeah. It's on.
What about the ice conditions? Do we got ice?
We have ice. Right. So far, we have ice.
My understanding is they got a guy.
Well, you got to have a guy.
They brought a guy in to take care of the ice.
Good.
Because hockey on Lake Minnetonka can turn into the polar plunge if the rather quickly.
See, I was going to avoid all that.
Mini Zambonis there. You should.
Really?
You should give Joe the link to this thing because he'd get a kick out of the mini Zambonis they got. It's pretty cool.
Oh,
cool.
Mini Zambonis. I want one.
Are you headed out there, Mike? Are you going to be there? It runs all weekend. Registration today.
Gail and I are going to go. We're going to check out some concerts. Johnny Holm is tomorrow night, and then John Rich with Cowboy Troy is on Saturday night, and then Gail and I are going to participate in the Bean Bag Tournament in the Maynard's parking lot on Saturday. So it'll be a lot of fun.
The cornhole thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they got a lot of teams there, and all the it's $100 per team to enter, and every single bit of that goes to Patrick's Foundation. So it should be a fun weekend.
Wow, this is fantastic. I saw you
where at Minnetonka? What bay?
In front of Maynard's.
Okay, cool. Yep.
Yeah, and
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then Sunday after the event is over. I think 3:00 they start winding down. If people are looking for something to do to help out with they've always wanted to volunteer for for Play for Patrick. If they want to lend a hand, there's a huge cleanup crew that's going to be needed. All you have to do is just show up at Maynard's on the 12th at like 3:00.
Perfect.
And there's a bar. I just noticed the bar opens very early every day. That'll help.
There's a lot of alcohol there.
That'll help. Well, this sounds like a fun event. I've seen this morning alone. I saw Play for Patrick mentioned on 2 different TV channels. So, Play for Patrick finally getting the ink and the press and the publicity it needs. That's pretty awesome. You got to be happy with that, Mike.
Yeah, that young lad is changing lives, which is fantastic. So, he's just smiling down at us, and we're honored to be able to do what we do and help other people. So it's very humbling, and it just makes us feel good.
I saw pictures of your shop, by the way. It's really.
What do you think, Joe?
I think it's really cool. You have room now. You can keep my car there instead of kicking me out.
You're right, Joe.
Yeah.
Hey, and Joe, you know what we're not going to have in that shop?
Huh?
An EV charger.
Oh, good.
Oh, wow.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
Speaking of your shop,
not enough room in the budget for that.
Speaking of your shop, I need to get in touch with you, and I need to forward this. I need to get rid of this Jeep thing. I know you can repair it. You gave me a great estimate in detail, but now I got to act on it. So expect my call.
All
right, buddy.
If Schoonover Body Works can deal with the likes of Joe Souchere and Matthew Mikulski,
it's quite a range.
They can do anything. Auto repair, glass service, body work, oil changes, tires, you name it. It all happens at Schoonover Body Works in Glass. 85 years and going strong. And Garage Logic's official body shop, SchoonoverBodyWorks.com. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, fellas. Have a great day.
All right, thank you.
See you, Mike.
Thank you. Before we get to John, I don't walk at night anymore. I don't know why. I could. I just don't. I was out for a night walk a couple of years ago, and I heard the puck against the boards.
Yeah.
And I stopped.
Yeah.
It might have been an angelic choir.
Yeah.
It was a still night. Stars were out.
Majestic.
And I could hear the skates
Yeah.
and the puck.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just stood there for 5 minutes. And then I ventured deeper into the yard of where this was happening.
See, this is where you get into
And
trouble.
all kinds
look
of
like a
security
bum.
lights came on, and I had to get out of there. And-
Somebody
I ran for
screamed.
my life.
yeah.
For me, Such, I lived across the street from Sibley Park. We're going to, of course, rename that because Sibley was the devil.
He's a bad guy.
But I would pull up in the back, and as soon as you shut the truck off and close the door, you hear, like you said, the skates and the puck hitting the boards. I'd wander out to the front and stand there on the hill and watch it for a few minutes.
Oh,
it's
it's
just
wonderful.
the most wonderful sound ever. Yep.
Here's John Heidt.
Thank you, Joe. U.S. Rep. Angie Craig was assaulted in a Washington, D.C. elevator, according to her chief of staff. It happened this morning about 7:15. Craig, according to a statement, defended herself from the attacker, suffered some bruising, but is otherwise physically okay. Craig called 911. The suspect fled the scene after the assault. There's no evidence, according to her spokesperson, that the incident was politically motivated. Craig is grateful, she said, for the police department's quick response. Craig represents Minnesota's 2nd congressional district. Some breaking news out west of us. Not a lot of details yet, but authorities say an active shooter was stopped by workers at a northern Minnesota boat company this morning. The Otter Tail County Sheriff's Office's law enforcement was called to Lund Boat Company in New York Mills. It's about halfway between Wadena and Perham at about 7:20 for a report of an active shooter. When crews got there, they saw that employees at the company already had the suspect restrained. That suspect was then taken into custody by law enforcement. Fortunately, nobody was injured. The sheriff's office hadn't publicly identified the shooter as of late morning or released any other details regarding that incident.
Lund boats?
Yes.
Making boats should not result in gunplay. That
No.
should be kind of a pleasant job.
Correct.
Yeah.
Horrible trial came to an end yesterday. A jury finding a West Metro woman guilty of murder in the death of her 6-year-old son, Eli Heidt. 28-year-old Julissa Thaler was convicted of first and second-degree murder following less than 2 hours of deliberation. Per Minnesota law, first-degree murder sentence carries an automatic life term in prison with no possibility of parole. Thaler is charged with fatally shooting her son with a shotgun after they left their Spring Lake condo last May. Prosecutors say the next morning the boy was found dead in the trunk of her car along with a shotgun after Thaler was pulled over during a traffic stop in Mound. Prosecutors told the jury they don't know exactly where Eli was killed as Thaler drove around the West Metro for hours. The prosecution never specified a motive, only telling the jury during closing arguments she had recently bought life insurance policies and was dealing with child custody involving the 6-year-old.
Why was there even a trial? Why didn't they just put this fruitcake away from day one?
I don't
Follow
have an
up
answer
to
for you.
a
It's a sad story.
gruesome story, another one that we had when it first happened. A man found guilty on both charges filed against him in a case involving the dismemberment of a St. Paul man back in June of 2021.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. 42-year-old Robert Thomas West found guilty of one count of interference with the dead body, the scene of death, and one count of being an accomplice after the fact of murder. West had been charged following the death of Ricky Balsamo, who was killed in St. Paul. Then his body moved to Superior, Wisconsin, according to prosecutors. They allege his body was put in several buckets and a tote before being taken to Grand Portage, Minnesota. At that point, his body was dumped into Lake Superior.
Wow.
Balsamo was reported missing in June of 2021. According to criminal complaint, West admitted to police he came up with a plan for disposing of the body and helped to dismember him. Tommy Hintz of Duluth entered a guilty plea last summer to a charge of being an accomplice after the fact to murder for her role in the case. She's scheduled to be sentenced later this month. One other person in the case is charged, Jacob Colt Johnson, charged with second-degree murder for the death. His trial is also going to be held in Cook County. West also will face charges in Wisconsin for discarding the handgun used to kill Basimo into Lake Superior. Also charges of mutilating a corpse as a party to a crime, possession of a firearm, and harboring and aiding a felon.
Well, do we know why?
Nothing. Nothing's ever been released about a motive for that killing.
I think he was sent a message.
Yeah, I think so.
Oof. Remember the case in Minneapolis that was in the news and then completely vanished?
Yes,
Yeah.
the suitcase.
Yeah,
I remember certain stories that come up during the newscast, and none of us want to comment
right.
for that very same reason.
And they ain't going to make the GL newscast either.
Star Tribune reporting Derek Maurice Scott scoffed at police who arrested him in Minneapolis. He was in possession of hundreds of fentanyl pills and a gun. He told police, when I get released, I'll still be the king and get myself another gun. Well, that may not happen now. U.S. Attorney Andrew Luger seized on those words and used the case to underscore a newly heightened push to prosecute more gun and drug cases. The 34-year-old Maple Grove man now instead faces a mandatory 30-year federal prison sentence after being convicted. Scott was convicted after a 2-day trial in Minneapolis on charges stemming from the June 6, 2022 traffic stop. Police found 355 fentanyl tablets and a Glock 41 in his car. Number of Minnesotans seeking help from food shelves across the state ballooned in 2022 to a record high, with new data yesterday showing that the need for food assistance exceeded preliminary projections. Minnesotans visited the state's food shelves more than 5.5 million times in 2022, making about 400,000 more visits than predicted last fall.
Wouldn't this be a giant case of irony?
In what sense?
Well, we had the largest food fraud case in the entire country, and yet the actual food shelves are desperate here because so many people need their services.
That's because the real food shelves are honest.
Yeah.
And the food fraud was the government.
Right.
Which is not honest.
No.
That's nearly 2 million more visits to food shelves than in either 2021 or 2019 before the COVID-19 pandemic began, an increase of more than 50%. Hiawatha Golf Course in Minneapolis could soon be listed in the National Register of Historic Places. The Minnesota State Historic Preservation Review Board approved a nomination Tuesday night to list the 89-year-old 18-hole municipal golf course on the registry. The keeper of the National Register in Washington is expected to make a decision within 45 days. It's unclear, though, what impact that designation would have on a controversial reconstruction plan for the golf course. Historians say Hiawatha played a key role in the history of black golfers in the Twin Cities, but it faces a major reconstruction. As the park board looks to address environmental problems, there would only be enough room with that reconstruction for a 9-hole course.
Remind me, where did you stand on the? Because I know we talked about it on the show.
I thought Such brought up the fact, the black thing first.
He did. That's why I was wondering, because I know we discussed this. Were we in favor of them making the improvements?
Yeah, I think that...
Did you break this news, Joe? Was it you?
Maybe. If I did, I don't remember.
Yeah. That's how good the GL newscast is. If we break news, we're not sure.
Well, we're not sure.
Right now you play, well, it's just a partial course now, isn't it?
No.
But even when it was a full 18, you had to bring a couple of extra pairs of socks because you're going to get
boggy. It was
yeah,
boggy.
soggy, very soggy.
A UN aid convoy has crossed into rebel-held northwest Syria through Turkey, the first since the earthquake disaster flattened neighborhoods in both countries. This is unbelievable. The death toll now up to 20,000.
I can't believe it won't be 40,000.
Oh, rescuers racing against time to find survivors in the frigid cold. A Texas man who fatally shot 23 people and injured dozens more at a Walmart store in El Paso in 2019 yesterday pleaded guilty to federal hate crimes and weapon charges. The reason for that, they have said, in that case at least, they will not pursue the death penalty. This man is Patrick Crusius, 24 years old. He still faces trial on state capital murder charges for which he could get the death penalty. Crusius drove all night from his home in Allen, Texas, a suburb of Dallas, to a Walmart supercenter in El Paso. He posted an anti-immigrant manifesto minutes before entering the store, where he stalked shoppers down the aisles with a semi-automatic rifle and ammo that he had purchased online. He wrote in his manifesto, "This attack is a response to the Hispanic invasion of Texas." His manifesto warned that white people were being replaced by foreigners. The document drew direct inspiration from the mass murder of Muslims at 2 mosques in New Zealand in March 2019 that left 51 people dead.
Okay, wait a minute. This guy killed 23 people?
Yeah. You don't remember that shooting?
Well, that's my point. Isn't that something that this didn't fly higher on the radar?
It was
we
a
had
huge
that many
story when it
shootings of
happened.
23 people. What did the guy in Vegas get? More than 23?
54,
okay.
right? Did he kill 54?
Good
But this
Lord.
was huge news when
No,
it
I
happened.
remember at the time, but then it's amazing how quickly they slip from your radar screen.
Well, I saw a figure, and this was last week, right before I stopped paying all attention to news for a couple of days. Don't we have close to 70-some mass shootings so far in 2023?
I think so, something like that. But what
large
defines
number,
mass?
yeah.
More than one?
I think it's more than 3. Isn't that?
Can
Well,
you get a
it's-
newspaper down where you were?
It's every
sure.
night in
You didn't
North
bother to
Minneapolis.
look. Oh, you were all right. Yeah.
Joe, here's how
music-
much I ignored the news.
I don't blame you.
I didn't even look at Twitter.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah. Musician death, and well, this is going to be a long obit, folks, because this is one of my favorites ever. Sorry. One of the most accomplished pop music composers of the 20th century,
Oh, the
Burt
Burt.
Bacharach,
The
has
Burt.
died at
Yeah.
the age of 94.
Oh, nice run, Bert.
Musical maestro behind 52. Who's singing
isn't that
girl
Burt?
from Ipanema? No,
I'm
that's
just the fact
show
alone
B-
that he
oh
was
my
married
God.
to Angie Dickinson is enough to.
no. Rook has to leave the show now.
Yeah.
Girl from Ipanema, Bert, come on, Rook.
It's elevator music.
It's
What?
Joe
No,
Beam.
it's not. Oh,
Jesus.
take off your headphones and go home.
What
A, Joe Beam's one of the greatest composers ever. B, Bacharach's one of the greatest composers ever, and you just called it all elevator music.
No, I'm not disputing his.
Why don't we
he
just
was
let
important.
John do this?
But I'm just saying,
I'm trying to save you.
it reminds
I don't know
me
if I
of-
can go on.
Yeah.
I can't go on.
He did that song with Dionne Warwick, right? The
Well, he
very
did about
popular.
50 songs with Dionne Warwick. The musical maestro
Oh,
behind
sorry, John.
52. Well, it's in the story, Kenny. You know, that's it. I want you guys all to leave now.
Yep.
The musical maestro behind 52 top 40 hits. That's 52, including Alfie, Walk On By, Promises, Promises, Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head, What the World Needs Now Is Love, Do You Know the Way to San Jose, The Look of Love, and literally dozens of more classics. Kenny, there were 3 Dionne Warwick songs in there in that list I just mentioned.
Angie
Okay,
Dickinson
I'm-
from
I-
65 to 81.
I apologize. I wasn't trying to
Yeah.
sabotage your story. I'm
Kenny,
sorry.
you need to relax. Kenny.
$160 million.
Bacharach-
That was what he was worth.
Bacharach had an untouchable run in the 60s and 70s with a wide range of pop, R&B, and soul artists. He died at his home of natural causes. He worked with lyricist partner Hal David. They were called the Rodgers and Hart of the 60s. Many of their songs were popularized by Dionne Warwick, whose singing style inspired Bacharach to experiment with new rhythms and harmonies, composing innovative melodies like Anyone Who Had a Heart and I Say a Little Prayer.
Walk On By.
Bacharach's appeal cut across all sorts of lines. Jazzers loved expounding on the melodies of the songs because of their innovative and gorgeous musical nuances. Rockers loved his music. Bacharach and Elvis Costello releasing a record back in 1998 called Painted from Memory, which is a great album. They also just recently announced a box set of things they've worked on together the past 25 years. That'll come out next month. He was very handsome and suave, somewhat of a matinee idol. Sammy Kahn dubbed him the only composer who didn't look like a dentist. His longtime marriage, as Rook mentioned, to actress Angie Dickinson fueled his image. He was also known for his ownership and breeding of thoroughbred racehorses for more than 30 years. Later in his career, he wrote lots of hit records with his third wife, Carol Bayer Sager. That's What Friends Are For, Arthur's Theme, one of Rook and my favorites.
Oh, that's awesome,
is a great
awesome
tune.
song.
And the wonderful On My Own, which was a big hit for Patti LaBelle and Michael McDonald. Bacharach stayed active into his 90s, writing with Elvis Costello, Rufus Wainwright, and others. He also continued performing until the last few years. He was 94 years old, died at home. I'd advise finding a box set called The Look of Love, the Burt Bacharach collection. It's 4 CDs, and it's just
His father was a well-known syndicated newspaper columnist.
really. I
Mark
didn't know that.
Bertram Bacharach.
Didn't know that.
His mom
They-
he said his family was Jewish, but he said they did not practice or give much attention to their religion. But the kids I knew were Catholic, he added. I was Jewish, but didn't want anybody to know about it.
Well, he's like Santos. He was Jewish-ish.
Jewish.
He married Angie in 1965.
That was prime time.
But prime Angie.
It was prime time.
My goodness.
She didn't look like a mud fence back then.
She
I'll tell you
is
that.
proof of a higher power.
That's right.
Have you guys seen, you know what, it's sitting
And
right up
fun. Just a fun gal.
there. Point Blank. Have you ever seen that film? Lee Marvin and Angie Dickinson
Yeah, I think I have.
from about 67 or so.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Take it easy,
Yeah.
Johnny.
I'm sorry.
I was going to
My
say
bad.
that to all of you.
My bad.
I have the official number. This is up to February 6th. in the United States, 67 mass shootings, and the term is
Well, what does
3
that
or
have to
more
do
people.
with Bert? We were on a high
No,
there.
he's done. He was done. I wanted because I knew people were going to send this in via email.
Anyway, back to Angie.
I thought you were done with this story. I'm sorry.
Was he only married twice?
No,
3 times. Carol Bayer Sager was his third wife.
Who was number
All
2?
right, I'll look up Angie.
Angie,
Dickinson.
probably.
Yeah, I don't know.
It
Good
is.
question. Didn't look it up.
His spouses, Paula Stewart, 53 to 58. Angie Dickinson, 65 to 80.
She's still with us.
What do
Carol,
you think?
Oh, yeah.
How do you think Bert got along between 58 and 65?
I think he did okay.
I think he
probably did all right.
Options.
He had
lots of options.
Carol Sager from 82 to 91, and Jane Hansen, who he married in 93.
Oh,
Wow.
I didn't know.
This is according to
he and-
Wikipedia.
Yeah, I didn't know he and Carol had divorced back then. And so they wrote a bunch of hit records and then
well,
divorced.
he was pretty good. He could write a song.
He could write a song. I was amazed. Rook, did you happen to see how much he's worth? I saw
160.
that doesn't seem like enough to me.
It seems like it should be more.
Yeah, 160 million for
He
all
was
those hit
drafted in
records.
the Army in 1950, served 2 years, stationed in Germany, and played piano in officers' clubs there.
Well, he's no dummy.
Right.
Yeah.
They used him the right way.
The concert season heating up here in the Twin Cities. I remember last year we started, or was it 2 years ago, at Canterbury Park in Shakopee, a series of concerts.
I
They
attended
moved-
one of those.
Yeah, they moved the zoo concerts there. Is what
Oh,
it
they
amounted
did?
to. They did because of COVID. And who's the folks that did the zoo concerts? You know,
I have no idea.
Yeah,
Well,
John and I
Gene-
did a couple
It's
of
not
gigs
Gene,
out
is
there.
it? No.
No, it was.
No, it was our gal Melly Walker.
Doesn't matter. Anyway, they took over those concerts, but now somebody else has taken over, and they've decided to change things up a bit. They will have concerts only on Fridays and mostly rock or country acts. The Canterbury concerts are presented in front of the racetrack's grandstand that holds about 2,500 people. What they announced to go along with all of this is it looks like, well, let's see, June 2nd, Night Ranger. Remember Night Ranger? These rockers. July 21st, Killer Queen, a Queen tribute band from England.
I don't do tribute band.
We go back to the 90s on August 11th with MTV favorite Smash Mouth and Spin Doctors, which would be interesting.
I do
like
believe it
Spin
was
Doctors.
Sue McLean and Associates.
There we go.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you.
exactly
Did we
what it
lose? Did we lose Sue?
was. We did.
We did.
We did.
Is Ray Wiley Hubbard coming there? I'd go see him.
He is not coming there. Randy Hauser, who apparently is a country artist. I don't know him. He's there September 8th. So that's what they're going to do. They're also in the process of building a permanent 19,000 capacity amphitheater adjacent to Canterbury Park, but it's not expected to open this year.
Huh.
People who struggle with chronic constipation may have a new drug-free option to get some relief.
Thankfully.
Hot dogs.
Vibrant is a pill.
Eat a whole pack.
What kind, John?
Eat a whole
Vibrant.
pack.
Vibrac?
Vibrant.
Vibrant.
Vibrant is a pill that vibrates in the colon after you swallow it.
Oh, wow.
What if you
It
saw somebody
stimulates.
just wiggling?
Yeah, I'd inquire. Hey, what do you
Why
got?
are you
What
vibrating?
do you got?
That's why you have to rock back and forth while you're doing your.
Oh, my Lord.
It was cleared by the Food and Drug Administration in August, but
It's
became
like a
available
pump handle.
Like
for
Jesse.
doctors to prescribe this week.
I don't know.
It's meant to be taken every week, or every day, excuse me. It travels through the stomach into the small intestine, just like food. After 14 hours of ingesting, the pill reaches the large intestine and gets to work.
Well, that's fantastic.
That's too long.
Is it a
14
remote
hours.
control? What do you do?
You just take
It's
Yeah.
well,
What do you
it
do when the
starts working
batteries die?
It starts working on its own, fellas. It stimulates nerve cells in the gut and triggers muscle contractions. Excuse
Can
me.
you use the other door? Can go up from the.
Whoa.
I
between-
think that, that's fine.
There's another few lines in the story.
Yeah,
I might
it's,
as well do them. Between 10 and 20% of
I
Americans
think
live
he's talking to me.
with chronic constipation.
Yeah.
That's diagnosed as having fewer than 3 bowel movements in a week.
Well, I'll tell you what you do. You roast yourself up some pecans.
Yeah.
That'll take care of it.
Really?
I'm telling you, Ballpark
Natural.
Franks. Eat a whole package of Ballpark Franks.
Yeah, but you eat them cold.
Yeah.
Well, you can eat them if you want, but what's the point?
Chris, I'm seeing a lot of emails coming to you telling you how to cure your constipation at this point. So
I don't
good luck
want
with those.
to dwell on this. You have one more story for us?
Sure. Let's see.
How about go on vacation to Mexico, drink the water?
That'll take care of it.
Chris?
You're good.
Will that do it?
Oh, yeah, you're good
Montezuma?
right away.
In Hellertown,
To the point where she
Pennsylvania.
makes you use the pool bathroom. Get out of the room. Get out of here.
Oh yeah, you got to take the walk. Yeah, I got you on that. I did that in the Dominican many a time.
Okay, that's great. Here we go.
I'm kind of sorry I did that story now, Joe. I apologize. I
And they're always sad. They're always let down when they inquire where you're going, and then you tell them, and they're like, "Why do you tell me that?"
They like that. In Hellertown, Pennsylvania,
Just walk by and just go.
Customers at giant food stores are familiar with Marty the robot. He's a tall robotic assistant. He's been in stores since 2019 there, helping identify hazards like spills, and he's gone viral because, he has googly eyes and weird facial expressions. However, Marty's job is mainly an indoor. Rarely does he venture out on his own until the other day. One Pennsylvania grocery shopper in the Lehigh Valley area posted a video showing Marty out in the store parking lot moving around before employees ran out of the store and wrangled him back inside.
Is this making the GL newscast?
When is this show going to have to become aware and knowledgeable about artificial intelligence and what it portends for the future of us all?
Will you please give me a heads up when
Yeah.
that's coming up so I can alert everybody associated?
Right.
Joe's going to talk about AI, so we
Well,
need
you
to
can't escape it now.
I
It's
think I know,
everywhere.
but the knowledge capacity percentage-wise of 100%, everybody knows everything. This whole group, we're probably at about 2.5% out of 100.
Yeah, that's a little optimistic.
Is that too
I'd
high?
say
Okay. We're in the
maybe
negative.
1%. Yeah.
I don't know anything about it, and I don't like it.
Just
Yeah.
watch war games.
I'm like that with most things, Joe.
Yeah.
How about the weird thing they can do now where they say us five on video here, and they can make us say whatever they want coming out of our voice? I don't like that.
Yeah,
There's a name for that.
Deep fake.
That's
Yeah,
weird.
deep fake.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I don't like that either.
The robots, have they made their way into the boudoir?
Yeah, you can get them. You got them.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, you seem to know a lot about that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Hey, gather your golf
Starts
buddies.
with the vacuum.
Hey, February 24 is Friday.
Mr. Whipple or whatever the hell he called him. What did he call his
Kirby.
Kerm.
Mr. Whipple.
Kerm?
I don't think that's odd to sit in the closet with a vacuum.
No,
No,
no, that's
not at all,
totally normal.
Where's old Joe? He's in the closet.
Not when I
again.
sat in the closet with the old whipped cream lady Herb Alpert album.
My God.
Whoops. Oh, was that out loud?
Classic album cover, man.
Wow.
Sears
Sorry,
catalog.
likes that album.
Sears catalog checking in.
Sorry, Choice Bank. The Choice Bank, Minnesota.
What do you got, Kerm? Let's go. What do you got, Kerm?
Don't call me Kerm.
Oh,
You know, Kerm injured me.
Yeah,
I don't think- I don't
that's
think
what the
we're
wife said. Yeah,
Are we
the
ready for
CP
this?
has
Still
said
got
that a few
scar on my
times.
foot.
You don't have to
It
show
ain't
us.
right.
Kerm.
Just look at it. It ain't right.
Right. Just look at it.
You can come see the injury at the Choice Bank Golf Show.
At the Minneapolis Convention
Attaboy,
Center,
Chris.
Feb 24. That's a Friday. We'll be there. And it
Show me your
concludes
scar.
I'm going to show people.
Gross.
And it concludes Sunday, Feb 26. You know the drill. It's the greatest deals on the latest equipment and accessories, clothes, golf apparel, golf balls, you name it, clubs. Your chance to win $1,000 at the Nelson Marine Long Putt Contest. But best of all, on sale right now for just $12 is your ticket. You go online. That gets you 13 free rounds from TwinCitiesGolf.com. That's valued at $455. Plus, you get a coupon for $20 off at PGA Tour Superstore. Buy your tickets today at MinnesotaGolfShow.com. You buy a ticket for $12, you're getting damn near $500 worth of golf.
It's almost as if they're paying you to come to the golf show.
Well, what's 18 times 13? That's a whole lot of.
Well, the ticket's 12.
180.
Oh.
18 times 13. What the hell are
I
you
thought you said
talking about?
13. I thought you said 13 rounds. I thought that's what you said.
You get, how many rounds do you get?
234.
13 free rounds.
Well, that's what you said. So 18 times 13.
234.
This is presented by Choice Bank. And
Joe. Joe's giving up.
Thanks in part to Nelson Marine, Waggle Golf, X-Golf Minnesota, Liftbridge Brewing, and your select Buick GMC dealers. Go to minnesotagolfshow.com.
Is that his cylinder index or his golf score? Either way, it's a big number. Here's Joe Souchere.
I know. The last thing that you want to deal with right now is your taxes. However, that was a sigh from the mayor. You looking forward to that appointment this year, Joe?
No.
Okay. Well, I have news for you because we have a GLer on our side. Her name is Linda, not Lisa, like I called her at the 1000th podcast show. That was really embarrassing because I've only been talking to her, for the better part of the last year. But anyway, Linda Keller is a diehard GLer, and she owns Keller Tax Services. And guess what? She's been doing this for over 20 years, and she knows her stuff. She moved to Minnesota in 2016 from California, and she prepares all types of returns for all types of professions and businesses. And she has perfected the virtual tax appointment via video or phone, and she has safe document exchange options, both encrypted and secure. You have the confidence of a professional with the convenience of staying right at home. And she has competitive pricing to do-it-yourself software. And she's got a flat fee that includes state income tax return, e-filing of all returns, and direct deposits of any refunds. You getting a refund this year, Joe?
I doubt it.
Yeah, he's refunding all his money back to the government.
You can book your appointment today by calling 320-352-0013. That's 320-352-0013. Or you can book online by going to Keller Tax Service on Facebook, which reminds me, I have to make my appointment with Linda today. So please book your appointment with Linda and Keller Tax Services and let them know you heard about her right here on the Garage Logic podcast.
I have a question for FYI, and I don't want to dwell on this, but to the best of my knowledge, I have never heard a Rihanna song.
Okay.
Really?
Rihanna's the Super Bowl halftime.
Wait, we had one as a bump, didn't we?
Is she any good, John?
It's not my deal. I don't care for her. I actually saw her in concert.
You did?
What?
Yeah, because I took Dylan to see. Dylan was a big Kanye West fan 15 years ago, and she had just broken then, and she opened.
John, does she use auto-tune?
I have no idea. I think everybody uses auto-tune at this point.
Oh, that's sad.
If you want to know, here's some of her songs. One of her best performances was on Saturday Night Live. It was something called Shy Ronnie.
Oh, yeah. That was pretty good.
It was really,
that was good.
That was pretty good.
Really good.
Her and Andy Samberg,
yeah,
right?
he pees his pants.
Yeah.
It should not come as any surprise. You'll recall that the Center of the American Experiment was running its Golden Turkey Awards, and the public could vote on them.
Yeah.
It should come as no surprise that the 2022 Golden Turkey Award has been presented to the Minnesota Department of Education for the most wasteful government spending. It won in a landslide vote. They won for the $250 million Feeding Our Future fraud.
Congratulations.
Which the governor is yet to address.
No. Didn't he say he was shocked?
Maybe he was surprised.
I thought he said he was shocked.
Only because they come to us all the way from Marloth Park in Mpumalanga, South Africa, from the traveling Lymans at worldwidewaftage.com. It was on this day in 1820.
Today is February 9th.
Peter Gideon was born near Woodstock, Ohio. He was a self-educated horticulturalist. He developed the wealthy apple, named for his wife, and others hardy enough to endure Minnesota climate. Gideon Memorial Park marks his farm on the shore of Lake Minnetonka. I did not know that. He died in 1899. On this day in 1895,
Feb 9,
the University of Minnesota School of Agriculture defeated Hamline University 9-3 in the world's first intercollegiate basketball game, played on the Hamline campus by 9-man teams.
Wow, a lot of good
who
D.
shot the ball into peach baskets without backboards. And the game, to my way of thinking, hasn't really changed that much. On this day in 1899,
February 9th,
one of Minnesota's coldest scientifically recorded temperatures was measured at Leech Lake a low of 59 degrees below that stood as the maximum extreme cold weather record until 1996. I think we referenced it on this show
last week
when it got to be whatever it got to be up in Tower and Embarrass. I think it was 60 below.
60 below, yep.
60 below in Tower and Embarrass. So see how that kids how that works? Back in 1899, it was as cold as it got on a day in 1996.
Mm-hmm.
So you never really know there.
That happens sometimes.
It's a roll of the dice.
That's it. Thank you, GLers.
Yes.
And tune in tonight for that 10 o'clock GL newscast.
Recorded at noon.
And welcome back, Reavers.
Thank you. Good to be back.
Hey, PodMN, for all of your podcast needs, there's a library of podcasts that you can check out. PodMN on your smartphone. The Garage Logic Town Council, still accepting applications. You don't even need to apply. You just need $10 a month or $100 a year.
You don't even need a license.
No, go to garagelogic.com to find out. While you're there, check out the online store that we have. Whole bunch of Garage Logic garb that you can purchase and show your pride for Garage Logic. Anything else I'm missing? Oh, yeah, YouTube. Go subscribe to Garage Logic on YouTube. Yes, it is very fun. I don't know how much fun it is, but you'll be entertained. That is signing up for YouTube from the Garage Logic site. No, I don't know. Welcome back, Reavers.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming back.
I need a cha.
Cha. What's cha in Spanish? Ciao.
Che.
Can you hold, please?
Time once again to check in with our guy, Mr. Money Talk. Josh Arnold is back with us again here in Garage Logic, and now's the time for you to do the same. So pick up the phone and make that call for that free 48-minute financial consultation by dialing 952-925-5608. That number once again is 952-925-5608. You call that number, you get Josh, and you're always going to get straight talk. You are never going to get sugar-coated advice. And Josh is on the line with us once again. And boy, Josh, it just still continues to be all about the Fed and all about the earnings, doesn't it?
Yes, it does, Chris. It is going to remain, at least for the foreseeable future, the Fed and what the Fed governors are speaking about and earnings. And we're going to be in an earnings season. Actually, we're almost, I wouldn't say almost finished. Still have several weeks left of earnings to report. Next week, we've got all the retail numbers coming out, and that could be quite interesting to talk about the direction of the economy and whether consumers are pent up or spent up. Although if I do look at consumers and I do look at some of the retail places that have already reported, you would get the impression that consumers are more spent up than pent up. And I say, here's the big but. If I take a look at other consumer spending areas, particularly in travel and leisure, or we can say life experiences, money is being spent. I'm not going to say hand over fist there. Good luck trying to get a seat on an airplane going to a vacation destination, whether it's where you went last week, Chris, down to Cabo or Lucas, or whether it's to Disney World or Disneyland, whether it's to Europe or to the Far East. Good luck getting a seat on an airplane. The airlines had already reported better than expected numbers. Some of the best performing stocks year to date are stocks that I would not want to own, primarily because of the costs associated with operating their businesses. The cruise lines have bounced off very significant lows due to being filled. People want experiences. Last night, Wynn Resorts, MGM reported, both better than expected on the revenue line. Wynn Resorts and MGM both stated record revenues in Las Vegas. That did bode well for one of my holdings, Caesars Resorts. Caesars reports next week, and we'll see if that bounce there continues. Disney. Been a long time since I've been to Disneyland or Disney World and had my picture taken with Mickey and Tigger. But Bob Iger, the returning CEO, had his first quarter, and again, better than expected. And one of the few times the Disney stock in the last several years has gone up after an earnings report. Disney stock moved quite significantly on Iger's restructuring plan to restructure Disney into 3 different divisions and cut about 7,000 jobs in an effort to boost profitability. He does want to make his streaming service, which did show flat subscriber growth, not good. And Disney Plus is still losing $1 billion. Again, not good if you're fighting the streaming wars, but Iger does want to see Disney Plus be a massive success. Investors did boost Disney's stock, but it still has a long way to go. Disney stock, ever since Disney Plus was announced, has been moving up and down, not on what movies have come out, not on what park attendance has happened, and park attendance has gone up, but it's been based on subscribers growth of Disney Plus. In the past, Disney was looked at on how well ESPN was doing, again, in terms of subscribers. I'm still a little bit cautious on Disney as well as some of the other media names, given some of the costs, again, associated around them and the war that's been going on in streaming. The Fed, well, we've had numerous Fed speakers this week. All seem to indicate we're showing signs of disinflation, but we still have a long way to go, and interest rates are going to be higher for longer.
Very good, Mr. Money Talk. You heard him, GLers. Now's the time for you to pick up that phone and make that call for that free 48-minute financial consultation by dialing 952-925-5608, where you're always going to get straight talk and you're never going to get sugar-coated advice. Josh, as always, thank you so much for the time and the chat. Have a great rest of your day. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.
Well, look forward to it, Chris. It'll be a special day tomorrow.
Beautiful. You got it. Talk to you then.
Bye.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Chris Reavers is a paid endorser.